Fear! Acknowledge me.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Come on in, sit down. Happy summer. It's time for another episode of The List, the third installment, actually, man. We got an extra special episode for you today. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for listening on all those podcast platforms out there, including Apple, Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and SportzWire Radio. Thank you guys so much for checking us out on all those podcast platforms. We are back with the Not Wrestling Podcast, as we like to call it. I am DB, by the way, host of the Sit Down March podcast. I got Primo with me today. Dylan is not here. We got the old band back together, the trio that started off this thing. AJ is back with us. How we doing today, buddy?
Oh, hello, fellers. What's happening? Thanks for having me back again.
Thanks for coming back, dude.
I miss you.
It's always exciting to see your face again.
Yeah, it looks a little. I swear to God, it keeps getting older and older every time I come back on the show. It makes me sad.
I guess you don't look in the mirror too much when you're on the podcast and you got to look at yourself.
Yeah, and then I see myself on the camera. I'm like, hello, you grizzled old gent.
Old veterans. I'm back. You thought you got rid of me, but here I am.
But here I am. Oh my God.
I want to thank everybody for listening today. And like I said, life got in the way. Dylan wasn't able to join us today.
No.
But we got a nice little subject here we're going to talk about. To kick this thing off, we talked about movies. Last time we did the second episode, we talked about TV shows. With AJ joining us today, one of the things I know about AJ is he is a big music guy. Yeah. This guy has a very big vocabulary, if you will, of music knowledge, if he were a dictionary. He's always talked a lot of mainstream music with me. I've listened to some bands that AJ's tell me to check out and listen to. So today we're going to talk top 5 favorite musicians, bands, artists, whatever your top 5 is. We're going to be talking about those. We thought that'd be a cool little subject to talk about today. So we're going to talk about our top 5. We're going to also talk about some honorable mentions, and Primo, man. So, it's summertime, man. We're dead heat in the summer. It always seems like music and summer are kind of synonymous with each other, right? Just they go good together.
Absolutely. Just like movies, there's always a song of the summer. Usually, you can think about certain times in your life, about a certain song that may have defined that era, that season, that summer, that fall, whatever it may be. And it's always cool to look back. And they say that, like, those of us, especially if you listen to a lot of music in your teenage years, you're probably still listening to that same music most of the time. And you might have branched out, learned, dove into a bunch of different scenes since then. But at the end of the day, whenever you click on your Spotify or whatever else it is that you also listen to the Sit Down Marks podcast on, you probably put on something you were listening to 20 years ago.
Yeah. And, now we, as we get older, we always kind of like cling to the eras of the music that we grew up on, right? Like for me, there's just something about like summertime, right? Like, a little drive somewhere, highway, a back road or whatever, a little windows down, a little DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince summertime song, jamming coming on in the background. That's what I think of because like, the 90s summertime, like, it came out during that time. That's what I always relate with it, and I always think like, summertime comes around, it's hot, and most time if I'm outside, man, I got some music on, got some music cranked up. It's easy these days. So you just holler at Alexa and tell her to, play a certain kind of music and boom, it's done. So, there's those kind of cool things. But then, as I sit right here at my desk, I got an old school record player, that I like to go back and listen to music on because I like to listen to the, the whips and the pops and the white noise of the yesteryear of music. It kind of reminds me of like the old days of like what my parents listened to, I remember as a kid, like listening to my parents' music, right, and thinking, man, this shit sucks. I'm never listened. Like, this is awful. Well, guess what? Here I am, my parents' age, older, and I'm listening to the stuff that they're listening to, and my mom still looks at me going, "Wow, I can't believe you're listening to this." You know what I mean? So it's just kind of music just has like kind of like a thing of sticking with you for sure. So you think about AJ, all the nights and bars that we worked together and slung drinks. There's always music in the background. We always kind of like to control the jukebox sometimes, you know what I mean? To kind of like music sets the vibe for a lot of things, a lot of tones and stuff like in your life. Man, I'm getting a little too deep here, but you just think like the music, like it's always around, some way, what's the number one place you listen to music?
Everywhere. I always have music playing somewhere. Car, obviously.
Sure.
Whenever I'm in the car, like I have to. But if I do anything, if I do laundry, if I clean, if I cook, if I am sitting doing a crossword puzzle, I always. It's like music is like the number one thing that I have to have. Mm-hmm. It's like oxygen, maybe Pop-Tarts, and then music. It is so vitally important to me. And like it's interesting that, well, a couple of things. One, we had to control the music at the bar we listened to. Otherwise, we were going to hear Journey 55 times.
Did y'all rig it so you have so many plays?
Oh, my God. If I hear I Love This Bar one more goddamn time, I'm going to rip my face off. And two,
like a rhinestone cowboy.
Oh, my God.
How many times we hear that
song? But what's interesting how you said, like, listening to your parents' music, you'd be like, this fucking sucks. Mm-hmm. It's like I read a book once where that's like a scientific thing. Like the way that we hated the older generation's music, we now hate the younger generation's music. Mm-hmm. It's science. We can't help it. It does, like the music you listen to growing up and like in your formative years and whatever. It like rewires something in your brain. I can't remember what it's called, but there's science behind why our parents hated our music and why. Well, I don't have children, but why, DB, you're gonna hate your children's music. Like it's in there. You can't. It's science. You can't fight it. It was very cool. Wish I could remember the name of the book. It's over there. Somewhere.
Yeah, me and my daughter were actually swinging golf clubs today, and I originally put on some rock music, and she goes, "No, Dad, you picked music last time." And so then we had to put on her tunes.
Yeah.
And it was it's not something I would usually swing golf clubs or listen to at all, actually. I say
little Ice Spice.
It's very girly. Yeah.
You think about it too, man. So like with the introduction of streaming, right? I would say with music streaming, I would say the world is probably listening to more music than we ever have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just makes it easier
more
for
at disposal,
us, right?
That's for sure.
But so yes, and I'm at the risk of being too deep here, but it's like I love it, and it is the greatest thing ever. Like Spotify, Apple Music, whatever we use, it's fantastic. I can't live without it. But at the same time, it's like you don't earn any of the music that you listen to. I am going to say that I have impeccable taste in music because, of course, I am going to say I have impeccable taste in music, but I earned it because I stole music from my older sister growing up, who stole it from her best friend, Audrey, who stole it from her father, who stole it from, it's like this progression of things where you have to you almost have to be in the know, or you have to know someone who knows stuff about music in order to get the good stuff. Now the good stuff is just available for anyone at all times. So, which is great because that means more people are exposed to awesome music, but at the same time, you don't really earn it. So I think the appreciation, I feel like, dips a little bit.
Plus, too, you earn money, right? Back when we were younger, to buy the CD to get to listen to the music, right?
I was gonna actually talk about that because, but I could still tell you my first ever CD or first collection of CDs, or all the playlists I used to had on burnt CDs that I made.
We call them mixtapes, you youngster.
I also had those too, but the thing is back then we would look forward to a CD release. We would buy the CD. We would then listen to it in its entirety, maybe while looking through the little booklet. Then
the liner notes.
But nowadays, when an album drops on a streaming platform, it's like, okay, I can see who's featured on this song and maybe only listen to this.
Yeah,
or I heard of this single before the whole album dropped, so I'm going to listen to this one song.
Plus they don't have like. Did you guys ever do the midnight release parties? Like go to a record store?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Those were my absolute favorite things to do. Was
yes.
I did it for games, but yeah.
I did for games too, because of course you got to do it for games. But so I remember when almost gave away my number one there. But when my favorite band released an album several years ago, like we drove to Champaign because there's a great record store in Champaign, and they were doing like this big midnight release. They were giving away like little vinyls, like the little like 7-inch vinyls. They were giving away like posters, and it was awesome. I loved going to midnight release, and you don't have those anymore, which makes me sad.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you guys a question before we get cranked up here. AJ, what was the first concert you ever went to?
So this is gonna surprise a lot of people. Whitney Houston was the first concert. I was 6 years old.
No kidding.
I did not want to go to Whitney Houston, but as a child of divorce, my older sister wanted to go to Whitney Houston. My dad had us for the weekend. So I had to be schlubbed along to Whitney Houston. From what I remember, she had a good voice.
Dude, top 5 voices ever, I think, when with women. When it comes, holy cow! Like you just amazed me that was your first. Like you just totally blew my mind, dude. I love that so much. Primo, who's your first concert?
So it's at one of 2 bands. I can't remember which one exactly, but because it was around the same time. But I didn't go to any concerts until I didn't see the sun until I was already a man. I didn't go to any concerts until I was grown, until I was in the military and off on my own. But it was either Dave Matthews Band or I remember some. And that was in. I don't remember what country that was in, but it was during their European tour in 2009. And then another band I saw in Europe was Living Colour in some dive bar. It was crazy. I didn't even know we were going to see him. Bunch of players was just like, "Hey, let's go hop in a car. I got this band we're gonna go see." It's like in this small little bar, and we were all packed in there. And then those guys came out. Yeah, so that's crazy.
Those are the best kinds of concerts too. You just like tiny little venue, like you're not even planning on seeing it, but you're like, "Holy shit, this is fucking." Like we went and saw the Toadies a couple of weeks ago for like that exact way, and it was one of the best shows.
So when I was young, dad wasn't a big music fan. So I too, a child of divorce, as a young kid, dad didn't really listen to much music, man. He had these small little apartments, man. And a lot of times they were connected to other ones. So I think I respect dad didn't play much music there. You know what I mean? And like, as I gotten older, we went and seen like a couple, bands together, like guitar playing guys, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, those type of people, right? But whenever I was younger, we went to this amusement park that had a little concert palladium called hooked to it called Carowinds. It's on the North Carolina, South Carolina border. And he took me to see this band called the Marshall Tucker Band.
Ah, yes.
Heard it in a love song. If you heard that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just like a country redneck show, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of rebel flags and that kind of bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know as a kid, right? And I was just kind of like, oh, this is crazy. Like people run around here with their shirts off and, Daisy Duke shorts and, but I just remember that. And I still remember this day being on dad's shoulders. I mean, I was a young kid, somewhat, but, yeah, that was my first concert. I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite concert you ever seen? But we're going to wait till after, so we won't let anything go. But I want to let everybody know we played a little game right before we started here, and I had the boys and myself. We all wrote down who we think each one of our number one bands would be. We'll see how we did here when we finish up with the top 5.
I can only imagine.
I think I'm in the right area with.
I think you probably
I did
are
Dylan too.
Yeah.
He's not here, but I did write one down for Dylan as well.
All right, boys. Without further ado, let's get this thing going, man. Why don't I lead off today? My top 5 bands of all time. I went more with bands. Let me talk some honorable mentions first, okay? So there's this lady that I love to listen to. Her name is Etta James. She's an old classic singer from back in the 60s and 70s era. And like, man, when she just sings, I just float, dude. Like she can sing me out of any mood. Go listen to an Etta James song. You'll kind of maybe, see what I'm talking about. But that's like my guilty pleasure. That's like my Sunday morning listen. You know what I mean? Like when I get up an hour and a half or so before the kids get up, I put a little Etta James on. But some bands that I really enjoy outside of her. I've seen Korn outside of Hootie and the Blowfish probably like around 10 times probably in the 90s since then. So I'm still a big Korn fan. Haven't listened to much of the old stuff, but like, the 90s, right? Soundgarden, Beastie Boys, Megadeth, Incubus, Toad the Wet Sprocket. I like to listen to a good bit. Brother Kane. I like a lot of Stain's early stuff. I now living around Charlotte and North Carolina, South Carolina, Hootie and the Blowfish, like I basically like grew up the same. We're basically at the same age. Those guys went to South Carolina, so I went to so many college parties that they played at and end up seeing them in concert stuff. So I kind of feel like they got to make the list, because I've probably seen them north of 10 times. My country music guilty pleasure is I've never not heard a George Strait song that I don't like. I just, he's the king for a reason. So I love him. I'm an old school Janet Jackson fan too. I like listening to the old Rhythm Nation, albums from the 90s when she was dancing cheesily, on MTV with the big groups of, it was just like, you look back on it now, like, yeah, we were dancing, but it just looked cheesy. Like they're, you know what I mean? It's
like the hyper choreographed, like all the shit.
Yeah. There's a small band that kind of had like one or two good albums from the 90s. They're called Big Wreck. I listen to them those albums quite a bit, but getting a little closer to my top 5. If I had a 6 and 7, it would probably be somewhere between these two bands, and they're in opposite directions. So when I pass away, right, like I've told Lindsay that like I want this woman to sing me into my grave because that's how much I love listening to her. Stevie Nicks is like the shit when it comes to women musicians, if they always say if you can put you on an island, you can only have one album. Just give me an album that Stevie Nicks is singing on, I'll take it. So by default, love Fleetwood Mac, love a lot of their stuff. I just couldn't squeeze them into my top 5 because I'm just a little bit harder than that. You know what I mean? When it gets to my top 5, if I had a number 6, it's a band from the 90s. I listen to this album all the time. It's a band called Cool for August. AJ, you can go check this one out, man. Check it out. It's called Cool for August. The band is called Cool for August. The album is called Grand World, and it's like from the 90s. I feel like this is a band that like kind of really should have made it. Like just from top to bottom, I think it's just a fantastic album. It's just really good. It's, it's about drugs. It's about life. It's about, winning and losing. And, it's really cool. I just relate to it, but let's get to this top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Coming in at number 5, I've worn out so many Third Eye Blind albums and CDs whenever I was in the 90s, dude. Third Eye Blind got me through like relationship up and downs. Anytime I hear a Third Eye Blind song, it instantly takes me back to a certain time and era, in my life, and certain songs and stuff. I don't like a whole lot of the, stuff they put out lately. I'm not a big fan of their, constant political stances and trying to decide, hey, we want these people at our concert, not these people, you know what I mean? Try to like push all that out. But man, like I've always loved Stephen Jenkins and Third Eye Blind, like one of the best concerts I've ever been to. I've seen them, quite a good many times, but that Third Eye Blind, the self-titled album, top to bottom is really good. It's very 90s, everybody knows that song,
Oh yeah.
And number 4, another 90s band that I'm still pissed that I didn't get to see them when they played in Chicago. But, man, like I can just relate to so many Oasis songs. Like Don't Look Back in Anger. One of my favorite songs ever, it's in my top 5, is a song called Slide Away by Oasis.
I love that song.
Ain't it so good, man? Yeah. And it's a song that like I can throw on, no matter the mood, it gets me in and out, you know what I mean? Like I can kind of like jazz myself up, I've always kind of like loved the like inner beef that Oasis has always had with the brothers, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because, me and my brother hate each other too, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So I can just, like I've always kind of liked that rock star mentality about it. And it's like, when I always like to think that, when they're out there on tour, man, they're getting along, man. They decide to get along. And then all of a sudden they're mad at each other again. The brothers, it's the Gallagher brothers, I think, right? Liam and Noel.
Noel. Yeah.
Noel, there you go. Yeah. But I definitely want to see them, man. I got to see them again before, I'm even thinking about maybe traveling somewhere to see them. But top 3, still in the 90s, boys. Interstate Love Song is like, it's probably like my second favorite song ever. Stone Temple Pilots. I love Scott Weiland, I think, is the definition of like a front man. If you would have one, in your band, great singer, great performer, entertainer. He's a sex symbol. He kind of like, tinkers on the line of gay, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
androgynous.
Yes, exactly. You know what I mean? And like, when I was younger, dude, like I stole, speaking of stealing music, AJ, I stole my cousin who was like 3 or 4 years older than me. She had like a Motley Crue Shout at the Devil album. And they had the big hair, they had makeup on. So I don't know, man, if I clinged on to that a little bit, but I've always kind of like been a little interested in musician leading men and lead singers that like wore makeup and like pushed them out and like, painted their fingernails and that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like I've always like, yeah, that right there, that's the lead singer right there. You know what I'm saying? So, but man, I love Stone Temple Pilots albums. I have a lot of their like live albums. I really dig their live stuff because I like to see like, man, like, Scott sounded really awesome in, 1990 something in Seattle. But, I got this live album where they played in Louisville. Man, he sounded like crap. But man, like the, what I mean? Just like the, the different nerdy stuff of, the band of, how I'm into them, that kind of stuff. But number 2, boys, man, like, I didn't really think I was that much of a fan of this band until probably maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And I realized that I'm always constantly listening to them. I'm hitting the song on there, Alice in Chains, man, like they're like my radio, dude, like, streaming something, like I never skip past an Alice in Chains song. Like I love Wood, Man in the Box always is like a jamming song, but it also makes me think about wrestling, you know what I mean? So like I'm always like, yeah, Tom and Dreamer, motherfucker, you know what I mean? And like and so many great songs, and like, I feel like, and I'm a lot of people might feel like this, I don't know, but man, I feel like when I listen to Nutshell, that one touches you in the soul somewhere, man. Like Jerry Cantrell and Lane together is like a beautiful, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like, it's like they were meshed to be together, from birth and, and all this. They're just fantastic. You know what I mean? And I'm constantly listening. I love Them Bones, Brother, like some of the deeper tracks too on some of their, I just love it all, man. And like, that's the sound of the 90s to me. That's like the ultimate grunge band to me. That's like the, it's the sound of, when I was 18, 19, 20, right? And on. And number 1, guys, if you know me, You probably see me. I wear this band a lot on a shirt. I wear this band a lot on a hat. I just, I think I told everybody I knew, like a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old that Santa Claus is coming to town, that I got to go see this band in Indiana a couple months ago. I guess it's been a while now, maybe whatever, but I think the best fucking band on the planet to me has always been the Deftones.
Damn it! I've
seen them so many times, and just a quick little story. I think I might have told on the podcast too of how I discovered them. So a buddy of mine drove to Miami to pick up this car that he bought back in the old days, and he pulls back in the driveway, and I'm at his house, and he comes in. He's like, "Hey man, go check out this car I got." So I get in. I don't know, it's like some sort of like I forget, some sort of something hot rod in it, and so I'm just getting out and I'm just kind of looking, and I stick my hand up under one of the seats, right? And I was like, there's something up under it, and I pull it out, and it's the Deftones Around the Fur CD, and it's in the case, and it's, and I was like, oh, there's like a Deftones CD, and I was like, oh, it's, he's like, oh yeah, it must have been him. And my buddy Joey, he's like straight Tupac, straight rap, like listens all that, so he wasn't going to dare throw this in the sea. But I was like, all right, cool, I'll take it home. So I took it home, man, and I put that fucker in, and those first couple of riffs of My Own Summer hit, and I was hooked, dude. I was like, holy shit. I remember going out later that day and buying, that was their second album, going out and buying their first album, Adrenaline. And it was on after that, man. And I was like, holy shit. They were kind of like, first getting their, traction, and just like, I don't know, man. I've just always been into them. I named one of my dogs after the lead singer. Like, they've always like, got me through hard times and bad times. Like I just listen to them so much, just about, not every day. I wouldn't say every day I have time, but every other day. But Deftones at 1, Alice in Chains 2, Stone Temple Pilots 3, Oasis 4, Third Eye Blind at 5. That's my 90s top 5 list, apparently. But yeah, and I still get geeked out when it's time for the Deftones to drop a new album. So, and if you're a fan of Deftones, then you know what I'm talking about. So, all right, AJ, why don't you go up next, buddy?
Okay,
let's see what your top 5 is.
First of all, there's a couple of things that, one, I should have known the Deftones. I'm pissed off at myself that I didn't write down the Deftones.
Yeah.
However, 2, there's one band on there that surprises me, and only one, and that's Oasis. I was not expecting Oasis for some reason, but good choice. That's a good list. I like that a lot. Okay, so like I mentioned before, so I came into this. There's some that are obviously going to be very obvious, but then there's some like people might not have heard of so much.
Sure.
Which I don't gatekeep music. Like I hate people who, like recently it's my number one favorite band. They had a song in a show. I'm not going to mention it. You'll know when I get there. But people kept coming up and were like, "Oh, that's your favorite song. Are you pissed off it was used in a show?" I'm like, no. Like that more people get to experience it now. Like it's awesome. I love it. More people need to listen to good music. But so if you haven't heard of any of these, I suggest checking a lot of them out. If not, yeah, whatever, you do what you want. So I had 22 honorable mentions, like I mentioned on the show. I got it down to a reasonable list of honorable mentions. So I'll go through these quickly. There's a band called Typhoon. They're like a chamber rock. There's like 15 members in the band. They all cram on stage, and they just look like they're just a wildly optimistic band. They play every instrument. I think there's an accordion there.
I like the name. That's a cool name.
Typhoon.
Yeah.
Their album Hunger and Thirst is their best one. So if you have a chance, check it out. It's amazing. Another one I had to put. So I have a lot of like early to mid 2000s on here. But this next guy I put on here, like, the term voice of a generation gets thrown around not a lot, but Bob Dylan is one, voice of a generation. Like Kurt Cobain is one, voice of a generation. Like this guy actually is the voice of this current generation, I feel like, and that's Kendrick Lamar. I love Kendrick Lamar so very, very much. He is a genius. He's the best, not just rapper, but writer, songwriter, like going right now.
They're not like us.
Everybody should love Kendrick Lamar. Everyone knows him. Band from originally started in the 80s. They're still going today. It's New Order. They came from the ashes of Joy Division. I don't know if anyone has ever listened to Joy Division, but lead singer of Joy Division tragically died. They formed a new band called New Order. If you have ever heard the song, now of course I'm drawing to blank, Temptation. It's like it's so good. Like they're like a 80s synth band that just keeps kind of doing the same thing. In that vein, The Cure is also on my honorable mention list. Robert Smith is a god in my opinion. Really quickly, I have The National, which are very kind of mopey but awesome. Arcade Fire, Yeahs, Sigur Rós, and then a band that I only got into. I mean, I'd heard of them before, but I only got into them after interviewing one Mr. Daniel Makabe. Godspeed You Black Emperor. They're his favorite band, and they're not very instrumental. They are instrumental, but they're like they have like these 30-minute song suites, and they're like super epic. They break down, and it's amazing. So go check out Godspeed You Black Emperor if you can. They're not on Spotify though. They took all their music off of Spotify, which good for them. So if I had to pick a number 6, if I could go to 6, Wilco would be my last honorable mention. I know like a lot of people find Wilco boring, but like in the early 2000s, they were so experimental. Like their album Yankee Hotel Foxtrot is still, in my opinion, one of the best albums of the past 20 years, 26 years actually. Jeff Tweedy is amazing. Also, they're from Chicago. Also, I met him. He's a super nice guy. So yeah, Wilco's number 6. So
nice.
Getting to my top 5. I like that. It's like a little bongo and stuff. Yeah. By the way, I'm going to try and rein this in. I get super excited when I'm talking about music. So we should have like a flashing light that has like AJ move the fuck on kind of. But anyways, I'll try and keep it brief. So number 5. So this is a band I accidentally found when I was like 19 years old. It was when Napster was still a thing.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know how sometimes you type in something, but you don't always get what you typed in. Well, I accidentally found this band. Well, it's really just one guy in a rotating cast. The band is called Bright Eyes. I don't know if you've ever heard of Bright Eyes before.
I have not.
So it's basically one dude named Connor Oberst, he's a shit singer, but he's a wonderful lyricist. Like it's also very chamber poppy. Like there's strings. I tend to like gravitate towards strings in music for some reason. I don't know why. But there's a little alt country that he does. There's a little folk that he does. There's experimentation. He does a little bit of everything under this band moniker, Bright Eyes. And like a lot of their new stuff is not the best, but like Fevers and Mirrors, Lifted, or The Stories in the Soil, Keep Your Ear to the Ground, which is all one album. And then he released 2 on the same day, Digital Ash and A Digital Urn, and I'm Wide Awake It's Morning. Those are the 4 albums that I would check out if you are looking to get into Bright Eyes. Very good. Again, he's not the best singer in the world, but the music is just fantastic. He's a wonderful musician. Number 4 is LCD Sound System, which
I've heard of them.
James, good. See, I'm not completely being all obscure and stuff. So again, it's one guy going under one moniker, and he has a rotating cast of band members. But his name is James Murphy, and it's like I know everyone knows Daft Punk. It's like if Daft Punk was American and a little grungier, is what I would describe LCD Sound System as. It's like dance music, but not. It has guitars. It has beats. It has a little bit of everything too in there. And James Murphy is great. He's like this middle-aged like schlub, basically. You would never expect him to be the musical genius that he is. But LCD Sound System, they have some of my favorite songs of all time. Sounds of Silver is their best album if you want to go check out one of theirs. Number 3, another band I hope people have heard of. I actually get to see them this Friday in Chicago. I'm super, super excited about it. They're an English band called Block Party. They're called Block Party, BLOC, no K.
Okay.
And they're very English, kind of like the lead singer's name's Keely. Oak or something. He has a really complicated last name. It starts with an O. But he has this very Cockney accent that he sings with, and so it's not hard to understand. His songwriting is also a little trite. Like it's very trite, but they do this thing in a lot of their albums where
I see they're on tour right now.
yeah, I'm so excited. I'm going with they're playing with Muse in Chicago, and I can't. Which Muse is fine. I like Muse, but I'm super excited for Block Party.
Sure.
They're like the second act. Like the reason I love Block Party so much is they have like tricks in their songs where like they'll be going in one direction, and then all of a sudden I want to call it's like the alternative rock version of a beat drop, like, but it's not a beat drop by any stretch of the imagination. It's like, well, their guitars will do something different all of a sudden. They'll change key when you're not expecting them to change key, or they'll introduce like drums, guitar, bass all at once after everything drops out. I don't know. You just have to kind of like experience it.
Sure.
Believe it. It's so good. And their debut album called Silent Alarm is, in my opinion, one of the best debut albums of all time. So that's my number 3.
Okay.
Number 2, I don't know if anyone's going to have heard of these guys or not. I do have a fun story about them. It's a band called TV on the Radio. Their biggest song is called Wolf Like Me. If anyone has ever heard that song before,
I feel like I've heard of the band. I don't know that I've heard of the song.
There we go. I'm going to stop singing forever. It's been in a bunch of things. It was in a bunch of TV commercials and so TV on the Radio. They're like dirty jazz, funk, rock, and things.
So it's actually
Primo.
radio on the TV then.
Yes, yeah, very good. But it's like this New York art rock band.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
I got to see them in Chicago last October, and there's 2 lead singers, and one of them is named Kit Malone, and like he's like this. You wouldn't, apart from how he's dressed like an elf that was in like Shaft, like an elf from Shaft is how he was dressed this day. And I had a little time before like the show's at the Riviera, and I had a little time before the show, so I was just wandering around, and here's Kit Malone just standing outside of the venue in like this little like side street, just hanging out, and me being the giant pussy that I am, and instead of being like, hey, you're one of my favorite bands of all time, your music means so much to me, I didn't even nod. I turned into a giant wiener and just walked right on. I did. I just walked right on by him. I like didn't even,
like I did with Nick Aldis.
I mean, yes, like it's so. And I was meeting my buddies like Joe and Adam there, and like I told them the story. I'm like, I don't have any proof of this. They're like, no, we believe you because you're a wiener, and of course you would walk by one of your favorite singers of all time, and not say anything. But they're so good. They're very noisy. They're very also very experimental, and really all their albums are good. Their debut is Desperate Youth, Bloodthirsty Babes, which is one of the greatest album titles of all time. Then they have Dear Science, Welcome to Cookie Mountain, again one of the greatest album titles of all time. But they're not very prolific. They haven't released an album in like 10 years, which is very sad. But TV on the Radio, go check them out. They're amazing. Okay, I feel like I have been talking a lot, so I'm
number one.
So if anyone knows me, this is the most obvious thing in the world. Most of my tattoos, like I've been doing like this a lot, like today, like this tattoo is this band. This tattoo is this band. Yes, I have band tattoos.
Me too.
This band is not just my favorite musical act. It is my favorite thing in the world is this band. Like those 2 little things hanging back there, those are both this band. I have all of their albums. We were talking about albums earlier. I buy 2 copies of every vinyl that they release. One so I can listen to it, and the other one so I can frame it and put it on my wall up there. And that band is Radiohead. I am such an obsessive Radiohead fan that it's disgusting. Like I get made fun of all the time for exactly this. Like I cannot describe how much their music means to me. I remember when I was talking about stealing music from my older sister. When I think I was 11 years old when Radiohead first came out with their song Creep, which is not my favorite song ever, but I stole that song, or I stole that CD from my sister, and my favorite song ever. That I was 11 years old, and I just got immediately hooked. Is a song called "Thinking About You." It's just Tom York and an acoustic guitar. That's basically all it is. And I fell in love with this song so much that my obsession with this band started when I was 11 years old. Found out later that song's about jerking off. I did not know that at the time. It's absolutely about masturbation. Didn't know it. I just thought the guitars were nifty, and I have been in love ever since. I listened to all of their albums. Obviously, if they're in a movie, back when people bought DVDs, I had to own the DVD of the movie that they were in. I have multiple copies of Clueless right now because of that.
Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah, Romeo and Juliet with Leonardo.
Yeah.
I have a copy of that.
Nice.
If you want to borrow it, that's cool. Every side project they've ever done, every side band, every solo album, I have to own it all. I have probably 50 Radiohead bootlegs. And I don't even have a way to play CDs anymore. I got rid of my CD player.
The obsession is real.
It is absolutely real. Whenever they release a new album, which they haven't done in a while, I'll buy the regular edition, the special edition, and whatever other edition that they might come out with. Also, in 2007, they released an album called In Rainbows, and they posted it online. This is another reason why they're so awesome. And they posted it themselves. And then they set up a pay what you want scale. You could give them $1. You could give them $5. You could download the whole entire thing for free. It's a brand new Radiohead album for free if you wanted to, or you could get the $100 special edition, which I of course did. Anyone who doesn't listen to Radiohead needs to. However, they're not for everyone. They can be very morose. They can be very kind of maudlin, but they are so uplifting and so beautiful. And yeah, I can't gush about them enough. They're my favorite thing in life, not just music.
I remember when Radiohead would announce tour schedule, if like whenever they would come around here close to us, if it was like on a day that you would normally work, you would ask me like immediately. Yep. You know, you work for me that day. Like, yeah, of course. But all right, who's your top 5 here before we go, AJ?
So top 5. No, I can't even remember who my top 5. Number 5 was Bright Eyes. Number 4, LCD Sound System. Number 3, Block Party, who I get to see on Friday. Yes. Number 2, TV on the Radio. And number 1, the greatest band in the history of music.
Of banding.
All right, Primo, you are up, my friend. Take us home.
All right, so you did mention country. Y'all mentioned pop-ish, even rap. I stuck to one genre. I mean, there wasn't a rule, but if I were to do a country, I would do an entire other list for that. So I did stick to rock. Now I've told people over time, rock is my primary genre that I listen to. But when people ask, what do you listen to? I say rock music. Oh yeah, well, what kind of rock music? I tell people I listen to everything from freaking, emo, Secondhand Serenade, all the way to heavy metal. It's everything in between. But on this particular list, my honorable mentions and top 5 are gonna be all bands that y'all have heard of. Most of them have hit the radio. All of them have, actually, and they're alt rock. I came up definitely during new metal. Love new metal. It's probably one of my favorite genres, subgenres, I guess. And alt rock, metal, all the above. So without further ado, my honorable mentions, just right out the gate, Aerosmith. I really like Aerosmith. Yeah. I throw it
Loving
on
in elevator.
and I just like that's a good, for me, that's a good, definitely a good jam in the car band.
Yeah. Dude looks
another
like
one,
a lady's great.
Another one is Pearl Jam.
Man,
really like Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Great. Like they have so many hits. And you just can't go wrong there. More mainstream. Well, they were both mainstream, but during my era, I guess, like my teenage years, start going down this list. Shinedown, Tool, Chevelle, System of a Down. Here comes the new metal. Korn. Then we get Slipknot. I have a tattoo on my arm right here of a Chicago band called Rise Against.
Yeah.
I love Rise Against.
They're awesome.
In that same day that I saw Rise Against in 2010, July 4th, 2010, at the Heineken Jam Festival, I saw Rise Against, and the next band on my honorable mention list, 30 Seconds to Mars.
That is quite a combination.
Yeah.
And Green Day was actually the headliner that night, and a storm came through and tore down the stage.
Oh, nice. Too bad.
I do like some modern, well, also, okay, Disturbed, Billy Talent. I like some modern bands like Bring Me the Horizon, Sleep Token, Asking Alexandria. Under Oath isn't recent. That's more 15 years ago. But all of those bands, they all have hits on the radio. As far as my top 5 goes. Number 5, it is a band that you could listen to on 107.3 The Fox Rocks at any year of my high school time from in the 2000s, early 2000s. And that band is 3 Days Grace. I love that band. I always have. I mean, that's one that I'll still go back and listen to. I was heartbroken when Adam Gontier left the band, but now they're back together. Yeah, I love the band. I mean, that's a very mainstream band, right? And it's just, that's like 14, 15, 16-year-old shit, Primo.
Yeah.
And that's right there. Number 4 on my list. I used to sit around playing a lot of Tony Hawk. And there is a band that really stuck out in those games, but as I dug further into them when I started buying their albums, I really like some of their slower songs as well, and even their heavier songs, because obviously on Tony Hawk you're going to have the skate type songs, and that band is, of course, everybody knows the song Fat Lip by Sum 41.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, so
Is it Derek Whibley?
But I like all of their songs. So
do you only like him because he's married to Alexa Bliss? Is that the only reason you listen to him?
No.
Wait, what?
Derek Whibley of Sum 41 is married to Alexa Bliss.
That's who that is?
Yeah.
I've seen that dude before going,
They
man.
recently retired. They recently retired too.
Wow. All right.
Number 3 on my list. So I don't even know what years, but let's just say there was a time when we were at the height of boy bands. My older brother had a CD of Casey and JoJo. All that was really out there for young kids to like grasp to was pop music. And then all of a sudden, this band came. We got a hold of. I don't know if it was my brother. I know it definitely wasn't me. So it had to be my brother. He got a hold of this album called Americana by The Offspring. And of course, Pretty Fly for a White Guy was all over the radio too. But The Offspring is kind of what brought us out of that mainstream top 40 pop stuff, because we were little kids, into there's a bigger world out there. There's rock music, there's punk, there's everything else. That's when we learned new metal. I mean, I remember the first time I mentioned Limp Bizkit to my mother, she was like, "What did you just say?"
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta
go to
keep
your
them
room,
separated.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, The Offspring is my number 3. They were like one of our gateway rock bands. And just
You're gonna tie your own rope, tie your own rope.
a lot of hits.
You
A lot
gotta
of
keep
hits.
them separated.
Number 2 is they are great. He's great. He's a derivative of grunge and post-grunge, and created this band, which is amazing, and that is Foo Fighters.
Yeah, I was hoping you'd say that one.
I was wondering if someone was going to put Foo Fighters on the list.
I love Foo Fighters. Dave Grohl's awesome. And I mean, there's not really anything bad to say about them. They had hits all through my high school and early 20s, and still are doing it today. So I love them. That's my number 2. And my number 1, I mean, it's the most obvious for anyone. I'm about to be 37 in 19 days, or what's today? 16 days. And anybody my age would probably say the same thing, because they changed rock music for people my age, and that was Linkin Park.
And
Chester
and the boys.
Yeah, and I will say, of course, Chester Bennington being my preferred version. I have since played Meteor and Hybrid Theory for my son so many times, to the point to where coming home from soccer practice, he'll be like, I'll be able to put something on and be like, hey, no, Dad, let's play through Meteor again. Yeah. So I'm winning at that. And Linkin Park, definitely number one favorite band. I can listen to it. I listen to it all the time. I've listened to it so many times. Probably one of my most streamed bands of all time. And I listen to them at work while I'm working. I listen to them anywhere. You can listen to them working out. You can listen to them chilling. Yeah. Whatever. So
Hybrid Theory is a great album.
Hybrid Theory is amazing. And
how are they
Meteor,
now?
How are they now? She's okay. Yeah. She's fine. Yeah. It's just like the way
it's a whole different version.
Exactly.
Sure.
The way I
haven't listened to it at all.
Compartmentalize it in my brain is it's a different band.
Yeah.
I feel like it's still Linkin Park when she's not singing. You know what I mean? Because you still hear the original sounds. But that one song, Primo, that starts off from the bottom to the top. To the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That one, I put that one all the time to like get me ready to clean the house and stuff. Like there's a lot of good tunes on
what
that
it was
Hybrid
intended
Theory.
for.
Yeah.
Good old hype up for house cleaning songs.
Absolutely it was. Yeah. Nice, man. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I mean, I would probably choose Limp Bizkit that I listen to more over than Linkin Park, but man, they had so many good ones. And like they had a lot of good underground songs and a lot of good mainstream songs.
See Fred Durst.
I wouldn't listen to Linkin Park ever in any context. I would, however, watch a Fred Durst movie.
You mean Limp Bizkit?
No, Fred Durst.
No, I know. No, I'm saying you said you wouldn't listen to Linkin Park.
Oh no, I would absolutely listen to Linkin Park. Limp Bizkit. It's the L's that were messing me up.
$3 Bills, a fantastic album.
It's just not
like Hot Dog Water, Chocolate Starfish.
It's objectively not. Like, so bad.
It's not for you, AJ.
It's not.
Like I said, I like it.
It's not.
I am so glad that no one picked like any of like bro country or anything like that. I would have.
Oh no! Like I said, I do a whole different thing, and I appreciate DB saying King George earlier, because that's what we call him in Texas.
Yeah, he's the king. The other like single person I kind of left off my list I listen to time to time is Bob Seger.
How many songs about the night can you have, Bob Seger?
It's the night.
Because
it's the wind.
all of them. You can have all the songs about night moves and such.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. All right. So before we started this podcast, we had all of us write down who we think our number one bands would be. Let's start with AJ. AJ, who did you think mine and Primo's number one bands would be? Start with me.
So I was close. Okay. With you, DB. I wrote down Alice in Chains.
Okay.
What I thought completely. I should have known Deftones. That was stupid of me. So I wrote Alice in Chains. Primo, I was way off. Just way off. I put Pantera.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Like, why I put Pantera, I don't know. And then for Dylan, I put Iggy Azalea. I think he's a Iggy Azalea fan.
Oh, all right, Primo. Who'd you think AJ and I was number one?
So I took total shots in the dark, and when I wrote this down, I completely blanked out on the fact that you're like super into grunge and stuff. All I thought was of Lithium, and so it was one of the ones I named, which is Pearl Jam for you.
Yeah,
I thought about writing Pearl Jam.
And then for AJ, only because he said British earlier, I wrote the Ramones.
I do like the Ramones. I do like them. I mean, they're terrible. They're a terrible band, but they're great.
All right, for me, so in my head, I was thinking, like I knew AJ's favorite band, right? Like I knew it, but like I was thinking Radiohead, but like Radiohead wasn't coming to me for some reason. I thought it was Muse, so I put Muse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to see them on Friday, so.
Yeah, and then so for Primo, like I was just kind of trying to think like how old he is, and that kind of stuff. And oddly, this band didn't even get mentioned today. But from Primo's number one, I thought it was Metallica.
They're great too.
How did Metallica not get? Metallica didn't get mentioned. Nirvana didn't get mentioned. The Beatles didn't get mentioned. Like
we think we sucked up on the honorables and
no way, we're great.
Quiet Riot, Chicago, Boston,
Chicago. Any band named after a city can probably stop being named after a city.
It's just weird that it's done. You know what I mean? Like you're trying to get over. Why do you want to be a city's name?
City.
You know, like
I want to start a band and call it like Portsmouth,
Shelbyville.
Shelbyville.
I mean, REO Speedwagon wasn't named Champagne.
I saw them and I hate them. That's one of those bands you're supposed to love. If you're from Central Illinois, you're supposed to like revere REO Speedwagon. Oh, they played in Bloomington. Oh, they're from Champaign. No, they suck. Like I don't care. Fuck off.
All right, boys. So next time when we get together, we're going to be talking of course, Dylan will be back. Top 5 sports teams. Top 5 sports teams. So
I don't want to give away my number one here.
Surprise! I'm from Texas.
Can be yeah. Primo's going to be straight 5 Texas teams.
Yes, just all of them.
AJ's going to be all over the board.
yeah.
Mine will begrudgingly teams that I'll have to put on the list that's never done nothing but lose for me. So we'll talk about that later. But thank you guys so much for joining us today. AJ, good to see you, brother. Glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Hope you're having a great summer.
I am.
Primo, I don't know if we will get back together before your birthday, brother. So face to face, I wanted to say thank you, brother. Happy birthday. Thank you for everything you do for the podcast. I think I've given you 5 or 6 of these now. So
it's crazy.
Birthdays, right? Yeah.
I was a wee lad when we started this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So,
so
but happy birthday, man. Hope you enjoy it.
Thanks,
Any cool early plans you thinking of?
As of right now, inside baseball, that's my anticipated start date for my new job.
All right.
This is my birthday.
That's a good
There we go. Lots of new beginnings and new happenings. So very cool. Happy summer, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Sit Down Mars podcast. We're going to get you out of here on our old school outro. If you guys are old school fans of the podcast, I hope you would remember the intros and outros there. But once again, thanks for listening. Thank you guys so much. For AJ and Primo, I am DB, and you have just listened to The List. List.